Rasulullaah s.a.w. invites Hadhrat Amr bin Abasa r.a to Islam. Hadhrat Shaddaad bin Abdillaah narrates that Hadhrat Abu Umaama once asked Hadhrat Amr bin Abasa r.a why he claimed to be the first person to accept Islam. He replied, "Even during the period of ignorance, I realized that people were astray, and I had no regard for idols. When I heard about a person in Makkah who was informing about many happenings and saying many things, I rode to Makkah. Upon reaching Makkah, I realized that Rasulullaah s.a.w. was in hiding, and that his people were unashamedly harassing him. I therefore employed subtle tactics and finally managed to meet him. I asked, 'Who are you?' Rasulullah s.a.w. replied, 'I am the Nabi of Allah.' I asked further, 'What is a Nabi?' He said, 'A Rasul of Allah.' 'Has Allah sent you?' I inquired. When he replied in the affirmative, I asked, 'What message has Allah sent you with?' Rasulullah s.a.w. responded that he should be accepted as one, that no partners should be ascribed to him, that the idols should be destroyed, and that family ties should be maintained. I asked, 'Who is with you in this?' 'A free man and a slave,' was the reply. I saw that Hadhrat Abu Bakr bin Abu Quhafa r.a was with him along with his slave Bilal. I then said, 'I shall follow you in this.' Rasulullah s.a.w. said, 'You cannot do so right now. Rather, go home and come to meet me when you hear that I have become dominant.' I then returned home as a Muslim. Rasulullah s.a.w. later migrated to Medina, and I kept making inquiries about him until a caravan from Medina arrived one day. I asked them, 'What is the condition of the person from Makkah who has come to you people?' They replied, 'His people tried to assassinate him, but were unable to do so as Allah's help came between. As we left, people were flocking to him.' Hadhrat Amr bin Abasa r.a continues, 'I immediately mounted my camel and rode off. When I reached Medina, I appeared before Rasulullah s.a.w. and then said, 'O Rasulullah s.a.w, do you recognize me?' He replied, 'Are you not the person who met me in Makkah?' I said, 'Yes, I am the person.' And I added further, 'O Rasulullah, teach me something that Allah has taught you, and which I do not know.' There is a considerable portion of this hadith still to be mentioned. Hadhrat Amr bin Abasa r.a has narrated yet another hadith. He says that he once asked Rasulullah s.a.w, 'With what message did Allah send you?' He replied, 'Allah has sent me with the message that family ties should be joined, human life should be preserved, roads should remain safe, idols should be broken, and that only one Allah should be worshipped, who has no partner.' I then said to him, 'These teachings from Allah are indeed fine. I make you a witness that I have accepted Iman, and that I accept you as a true Nabi. May I now stay with you if you decide that this is appropriate?' He replied, 'As you can see, the people regard this deen which I have brought as something very evil. Therefore you should return home, and when you hear that I have reached the place of my hijrah, then you may come to me.'